Good morning and welcome to this week's reflection in my Love and Gratitude series. As usual, I am sharing in English what I shared in French. Today, we delve into a topic that profoundly influences our lives: the mindset of abundance versus the illusion of lack. Last week, I talked about abundance and the belief that many think that being more spiritual or aligning with our spirituality means living with less, or often on the poverty side of the scale. This week, we will explore how our perceptions shape our reality and how aligning with our divine principles can transform our experience from scarcity to fullness. And no, abundance is not about money. Only those who have a real and lasting sense of abundance can be truly charitable, as we can read in A Course in Miracles. Because by default, or from the ego based standpoint, when something is given, it is an exchange for something similar or better that we will receive. It is a normal way of thinking and even trading. But this teaching invites us to consider that true generosity stems from an inner recognition of abundance and an infinite source of supply, regardless of what will be received or even if it will be received from the same source. It has nothing to do with what will be received or when. We have come to learn to associate abundance with external or material things, or as something that we can accumulate, like money in many cases. And this belief makes us easily see lack instead of abundance because the intellect or the ego based mind sees abundance in most of the time in one way, which is having more than necessary. True abundance is first the possibility to follow your inspired actions to fulfill what is truly needed in as your now unfolds in your now. And abundance comes in many forms, either as inspiration, inspired action, synchronicities, or whatever needs to be traded for something in your now, or in gifts in all their forms. And most of the time, our personal belief about abundance goes to only what is material or already finite. How often do we find ourselves fixated on what we lack instead of embracing the fullness already present in our lives? And again, in all its many forms. Most of our lives are programmed that way. All around us, there are things that makes us think of things we should want, or that could help us to live better, or that would be better, or we would be better if we would have them. But it is a choice to be influenced by those. Our society often conditions us to focus on deficiencies. So, what we don't have, what we did not achieve, or what we believe is missing. This focus on lack is not a reflection of reality, but a projection of a mindset rooted in fear and separation. In working with the law, Raymond Hollywell states, anything in life that dominates us makes us a servant to its dictates. All our weaknesses and our lacks are due to some compelling influence that blinds us and keeps us from what we naturally would receive if we were free in mind to receive them. He emphasizes that scarcity is a construct of our thoughts. When we dwell on limitations, we unconsciously maintain that state in our experience. Our perceptions carry immense power. They can either chain us to a life of limitation or liberate us into the infinite realms of possibility. How often do you find things on the news or on social media that justify what you believe? Probably more often than you can count, and it's normal. This is because what you project and see is what you believe. So as long as you believe something, or as long as you keep perceiving something in a certain way, you will keep seeing proof of it or justification to continue this belief. So you see, Perception and focus is about everything. So by shifting our focus from what we lack to what we already have, we open ourselves to the flow of abundance that is our divine inheritance. And this is not about being grateful, but truly being aware of what is instead of what is not. To step away from the ego based mind thoughts influencing us, never being satisfied. This is the phase before the one in which we are grateful for what we don't see, what we don't already see in our ego reality, knowing that it is already ours from the infinite source of supply, even when the intellect cannot see it yet. But before, we need a different mindset before we can get to this deeper awareness. Lao Tzu, the Taoist sage, teaches that he who knows he has enough is rich. This wisdom reminds us that contentment and wealth are entirely states of mind, not conditional to external circumstances at all. It's easy to understand this. How many times have you seen people not having much to your own standards, being truly and deeply happy, feeling abundant with what they have? And how often do you see wealthy, abundant people with abundant life and relationships believing they never have enough or they also want what others have too? It is a state of mind, as within, so without. True abundance is not about accumulating wealth and possessions. It's about aligning with the divine laws that govern the universe. When we understand and apply these principles, we naturally see prosperity in all its forms. It's all about knowing yourself. In the Gospel of Philip, Jesus is quoting. He said, "If some do not know themselves, they will not enjoy what they have. But those who have come to know themselves will enjoy their possessions." Because self awareness and understanding our divine nature permit us to appreciate and see true abundance and what we believe that we are, we attract and we project. He also said in Matthew, "To everyone who has more will be given, and he will have abundance. But from him who has not, even what he has will be taken away." Because if you don't use and appreciate what you have, only seeing lack and what you don't have, you will project again what you believe in your own ego reality. At first glance, this statement might seem harsh, but in truth, it reveals a profound spiritual law. We experience more of what we consciously recognize and embody. When we see ourselves as abundant in all its forms, rich in love, in wisdom, in opportunities, in divine support, we naturally attract more of these things because what we see is the perception of what we believe, as within, so without. You probably have heard this before. The mind acts as a magnet, amplifying what it believes. So those who have whatever they have are those who acknowledge their blessings from knowing it is true, not from pretending they believe it. They invite even greater abundance only because they are aligned with their pure essence and not their ego wishful thinking. On the other hand, if we fixate on lack, believing we don't have enough, whether it is money, health, love, opportunities, whatever it is, we reinforce that perception because we believe it to be true. So, of course, we will experience what can be justified. You cannot disagree with yourself, right? So, we become blind to the blessings already present. That's an ego game. We believe in the ego based perception. And in that blindness, we push abundance away because the ego wants to see something else. We are not aligning with the natural flow and state of being. It's not that something is being taken from us, but our focus on lack prevents us from receiving more, from seeing more, from not believing it. And from not believing if it's even possible. Those perceptions are individual and also collective beliefs. This is why gratitude is such a powerful practice. By acknowledging, by recognizing actively what is already here, what we already have, we shift into a state of receptivity. So instead of saying, I don't have enough, we begin to affirm, I have this, I have that, I'm open to more. And when we say and believe, I'm grateful for this and for that, there's a shift in awareness, transforming our ego based reality, our eco reality, allowing us to step into the flow of the divine infinite supply. The key is to cultivate an abundance mindset. It does not mean there will never be negativity, but we are not seeking external validation to confirm our abundance. It also means that we will be able to see the non-visible form of abundance. The ego cannot see that. So we must stop feeding those ego-based thoughts. We all deeply know that abundance is already within and around us. Our higher self knows. And when we step away from the ego-based fear, we can align with this knowingness. When we embrace this truth, life responds accordingly, and more is actually given and received. It's a long time process. It's a daily self awareness process. To replace any old data deeply anchored within our subconscious, we must repeat over and over new data to start believing them from also an ego standpoint. Here, I'm going to give you some practical steps to cultivate a basic abundance mindset. So, first, the gratitude practice. It's not just about being nice and appreciating what is, but it is an energy that is opposite to fear. You cannot be grateful and negative at the same time. I talked about this in the first episode. Go and watch it. So take the time to regularly acknowledge and give thanks for the blessings in your life from your heart. This shifts your focus from lack to abundance. It improves your energy and helps you align with your higher self. Affirmations. Use positive statements to reprogram your subconscious mind, to replace your old beliefs. For example, I am open to the abundant blessings the universe offers. I'm open to the infinite supply the universe offers, even if my ego based mind cannot see it. Believe them. Visualization. The idea of imagining something is because it adds images to our personal database or our subconscious. Imagine yourself being happy about something you would love to have plenty of, to experience, that is not ego based. So, most of the time, an emotion will be what you might be aiming for because instead of something tangible, go with an emotion. Because your ego based mind, if it's tangible, will put a condition like, okay, how much? How many? Who? When? What? How? But if you go at it from an emotional standpoint, you wish, you feel something you want, your ego cannot interfere. An emotion that makes you feel abundant in the form you would love, whatever it is. Visualization creates a mental blueprint that attracts corresponding experiences, as within, so without. And stay flexible on the how to live it and the inspired actions opening to it. The ego loves the how. Let it go. Generosity. Share something that is not money. Share your time, your talents, your resources with others. Whatever you have that you can feel that you have plenty, give it away. This way, your ego will not interfere. And by doing so, by doing something like this, when it's not related to money itself or something you think you lack, giving it will reinforce the belief that you have more than enough. It's about shifting the mindset to an abundant one. Mindful conception. Be conscious of the media and the messages you consume and the ones you believe. Surround yourself with positivity, but avoid influences that extend a scarcity mindset, like I mentioned in the beginning. The ego never gives out of abundance because it was made as a substitute for it. This is why the concept of getting arose in the ego's thought system, as we can read in the Course in Miracles. The shift from a mindset of lack to one of true abundance is not just a matter of thinking positively. It is a profound transformation in how we perceive and interact with the world. As we move away from the ego's fear driven beliefs of scarcity, we open ourselves to the infinite flow of divine supply. We don't need to have all the ego wants us to have according to the ego's timing and schedule. True abundance transcends material wealth. It includes the richness of love, wisdom, opportunities, and spiritual connection. By aligning with divine principles, such as gratitude, generosity, and self awareness, we free ourselves from the illusion of lack and step into a reality of limitless possibilities. What you believe is what you see. This transformation requires conscious effort, such as cultivating a daily practice of gratitude, using affirmations, engaging in visualization, and practicing generosity. Each of these steps reinforces the belief that abundance is already present and accessible to us. It anchors this belief and data in our subconscious. When we consciously choose to shift our focus from what is missing to what is already here, we invite even more of life's blessings. By embracing the truth of our inherent abundance, we align with our higher self, and life responds in the same way, providing us all we need and more. Not in an ego based timing, but in a divine timing. As we shift our mindset from scarcity to abundance, we also begin to see others and the world through different lenses. We are no longer projecting our own fears, limitations, or insecurities on those around us. Instead, we start recognizing the natural abundance in everyone and everything. We see others not as competitors or threats, but as fellow expressions of the same divine source of supply. This shift allows us to interact with the world from a place of empathy, love, and understanding rather than judgment or shortage. The more we embody abundance within ourselves, the more we naturally perceive the abundance in others and in the world at large, encouraging a collective consciousness of positivity, growth, and mutual support. The more we acknowledge and appreciate what we already have, the more we open ourselves to receive without having to go for it or chase it or fight for it in any ego based way. In doing so, we become active participants in the flow of the infinite abundance, never needing to grasp, but always receiving with gratitude and grace. As we move forward this week, let us commit to recognizing and releasing the illusion of lack. When we think or see something lacking, we are misaligned with our true essence. Use your own thoughts and emotions to see which ego based belief is active and misaligned with truth. By aligning our thoughts with truth of divine abundance, we transform our lives, our ego reality, and we experience the fullness of what is our birthright. We do not need to deserve abundance in any form it comes. We can simply be abundant because we exist. That's it. And when we see others not being abundant or not having enough according to our own standards, who knows what mindset they have? Maybe they are exactly experiencing what they want or wanted at one point, Or maybe they go through their own personal life lessons to master. Or maybe they are learning to be happy on their way to more. Or maybe they are living a contrast to help them clarify and believe what they would prefer. Or maybe it is to serve a greater purpose. We are all aligning with our own truth at all times. We all have our own mindset and state of being we project. Think about that this week. Thank you for joining me in this reflection. May your week be filled with love, gratitude, and the joyous realization of the abundance that surrounds you in all its forms. If you wish to bring to if you wish to bring this realization to a deeper level, follow the link in the description to access the e-guide to help your inner work. Actually, there's an e-guide for almost each week, so you have amazing coaching if you wish to deepen your spiritual journey. Follow the links. Thank you for connecting with me again this week, and I hope you enjoy my Love and Gratitude series as much as I do. I encourage you to share these videos with your friends and followers. We never know who needs to hear this. Use them. Remember to breathe in, to let go of all your ego based thoughts and visions, to see from your soul, and to live out. See you next week. If this reflection resonated with you and you feel called to deepen your practice, I invite you to explore the e-guides or spiritual mind treatments, especially designed to support your journey. You can also join the membership to access all these resources for free. And if you simply wish to give in gratitude, donations are always welcome with love. Simply follow the links in the description. However you choose to engage and share, know that your presence and devotion to your path are truly appreciated.